Good afternoon to the beautiful women in this room. Good afternoon. Wonderful. That sounds a little bit warm. Happy Women's Month. I hope you enjoyed Women's Day. I hope it was a wonderful one, and I hope you were spoiled by the various people. It's great being here and engaging on wonderful topics that, frankly, we should be having on a daily basis. I head up managed operations within our DBS group, and frankly, that's the mining side of our business, and it covers operations in South Africa and in Canada as well. And it's a great honor to be sitting with you and engaging on something that's very close to our hearts today. So, why is this topic critical to us, and why do we believe that gender diversity is a critical element of our business from a DBS group perspective? Well, for us, it starts with, I guess, one fundamental thing. So we are a diamond mining, trading and retail business. And when one starts thinking about diamonds, you would know that over 90% of the people that actually wear diamonds are women. So we might not buy them, but we definitely wear them. So frankly, for us to thrive as a business, get somebody to buy you that diamond or buy it yourself. But jokes aside, so when you sit in a business when over 90% of the people that end up utilizing your product are women, then you need to have, Then you need to have a special interest in understanding the females that we are talking about. And this cuts across all the different areas of our business, be it exploration, mining, the trading side, and also the retail side, and us just basically understanding our consumers. And from a mining perspective, and I come from the mining side of the business, it's exceptionally critical simply because we operate within communities. And today I'm going to talk about a couple of those communities, and I will cover our operations in South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana as I share this story with you. So we've always believed that we need to accelerate the development of women, but when we came to the realization that frankly, and we should always have known this, but frankly I've said it twice that over 90% of the people that utilize our product are women, we went back and started having a look at ourselves and realized that there was a lot that we needed to do to bridge the gap relative to where we wanted to be as a business. So in September 2017, and I had a couple of people from the UN Women today. The UN Women is a great partner of ours. In September 2017, we made a commitment. So we went up on stage and made a commitment around 3 critical areas. Firstly, that was internally facing. We said that we will make sure that our replacement ratio from a senior leadership perspective will be aligned to what the UN Women calls parity, which essentially means that for individuals that enter our senior levels, we need to sit with a ratio of 40 to 60%. The second commitment that we made was that we would invest in female micro-entrepreneurs, and this is what I will be covering today. The third commitment that we made was that we would utilize our marketing campaigns to change the stereotypes around gender. And frankly, one of those stereotypes was the stereotype that essentially would say that when somebody buys you a diamond, it's to thank you for being a wonderful wife, a wonderful mother, which are all wonderful things. But we wanted to change the stereotype into the space where people would understand that as women, we are also individuals and we matter within our own specific space. And since then, we've used our advertising campaigns primarily in the key markets, which includes the US, China, and India, to change that voice within society. And we've seen a lot of benefits out of doing that. Now, there are a lot of people that form part of our business, so we believe in standing with women and girls, and the pictures that you see indicate some of those people. So the first couple of pictures show people from within our workforce. The next couple show the women from our communities, and these are women that have their own businesses and women that we invest in. You would have heard me saying that it's standing with women and girls. So young girls are extremely important to us. And the next couple of pictures that you are seeing are essentially young ladies that we are spending a lot of time with. So we are encouraging young girls to study STEM subjects. I'm a chemical engineer, and I actually want to see a whole lot of other people studying engineering. And the additional pictures are essentially engineers or females who are studying within the engineering field at university. And it's always a pleasure when we actually sit with the young girls and essentially encourage them around the art of the possible, around the future. Now, zooming in into the area that I'd like to discuss with you today, before we play the video, I just want to share a couple of things that I'm sure all of you know about women. And we found this out when we went out and did a study to just understand why we needed to focus on micro-entrepreneurs. I'll talk a little bit about other entrepreneurs later. So we were told, and we know this, that women play a fundamental role in society. We tend to reinvest 90% of the income that we generate into either our families or our communities. Unfortunately for micro or female micro-entrepreneurs, they don't tend to reinvest that into their businesses, and that's what we wanted to address, simply because we wanted to assist with the growth of those micro-entrepreneurs. We also asked ourselves if it made sense for us to do this, and frankly, we said yes. From a business perspective, we know that when one sits within the top quartile from a gender diversity perspective, they tend to make or to generate higher financial returns than their competitors, and the percentage that is always counted or indicated is 15%. And we are starting to see those returns simply because when you have greater diversity within the different teams, you tend to get greater ideas that come through. So our goal around the program was for us in South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia to focus on developing 1,250 female micro-enterprise businesses between September 2017 and essentially covering a 3-year period. And this is a journey that we essentially started going through. We needed to focus, we had, when we did our research, that we needed to focus on covering a couple of things. One, we needed to focus on the understanding of fundamental business concepts. Secondly, we needed to understand that it's very difficult for micro-entrepreneurs to get access to markets. Sometimes when you grow as a business, you tend to start thinking that it's most probably easy. It's actually not easy, and I'll share a couple of case studies that we've seen within our space. And then we also understood that if you think about it, if I'm a woman who stays in all days, which sits within the blowback area, I'll wake up very early in the morning and do what I need to do at home. So I'll bath the kids, make sure that there's food in the morning before people go to school and my husband goes to work. I'll then do a little bit within the business space and come roughly, 12 to 2 o'clock, I'll need to go back home simply because I need to start preparing for the kids coming back. And I'll need to cook and make sure that my household is well taken care of. The kids will come back, and if I come from a poor household, I'll need to help with homework. So I don't have a nanny or an auntie who does that. I'll need to do that myself. I then need to make sure that everybody at home is well taken care of. And post everything else being done, I'll then get a chance to go back and look at a couple of things within my business. These are the realities of life, and I'm sure some of us experience it, but within our local communities, this is an everyday thing. And you can't say that you'll catch up over the weekend. Unfortunately, over the weekend, you've got other things that you need to take care of. And as a result, you don't truly focus on your business, and you keep trying to play catch up. And sometimes you don't fully understand what it is that's happening within the business. And you also don't have the time to ensure that you make the right business decisions. And that's what we frankly needed to focus on. When we did the study, we touched a whole lot of people, and I'll tell you about some of them later. But from a female micro-enterprise business, this covered a whole range of areas. So it covered businesses in agriculture, retail, manufacturing, education, hospitality, and also just people that have their own spaza shops. That's still a business, a critical business for that matter. I can't see when I move slides, that's fine. So these are some of the females that participated. I'll just mention one more thing that we picked up when we did the study. And it was the fact that, and I'll only touch on one of the communities, we operate within the bulk of the communities that sit up north in Musina. We've got a mine that's called Venetia Mine there. But we learned that only 12% of the people within our labor sending community that are over 21 years old have matric. And frankly, I'm still talking about matric. I'm not even talking about a degree. So we understood as we did that in designing something that was going to assist the females from our labor sending areas, we needed to make sure that we won't just come with some fancy standard that people will not understand. We needed to translate what we know into, one, a language that people understand, and put it within the context of where they operate to cater for their needs. Otherwise, we would not have sorted out the challenge that the individuals that we are dealing with had. Now, what we did was we essentially worked with great partners, and I've spoken about UN Women, a great partner of ours, and people that have essentially stretched us as a business insofar as all the work that we are doing around gender diversity is concerned, be it on the mining side, internally to the business, or externally facing work. We also had a great partner in hand, and maybe let me talk about where they came in right now. So we went back following the study, and we didn't want to start from scratch. You know, our main business is mining, and we needed to get access into great partners that have already done great things around the space. Now, UN Women has got a great partnership with the ILO, and they utilized that platform to gain access to material that's already been developed. The only challenge for us was that this material was not applicable to our space. They were then great in terms of giving us a master trainer who looked at all the material and translated it into what we needed, catering for our local concerns. They didn't stop there. They made sure that they went back to check and ensure that the material that was still going to be used or that was going to be used was going to be certified. Simply because the last thing that you want to do is to impart skills to people and not make them things that they can carry with into their next lives. So hand in hand came in the sense that the master trainer trained trainers from Hand in Hand, which is an NPO organization that operates in the region in Limpopo. And the individuals that were trained were local individuals, so local people and also the local municipality. They weren't just trained, so clearly they needed to pass the training because we didn't just want people to impart skills that were not worth anything. So clearly excellence around the entire journey was something that was critical for us. So we've essentially implemented this work, and we've worked with a lot of women around South Africa. We did the same thing in Namibia, and we are currently rolling out a similar thing in Botswana. This will continue for the next 3 years, clearly. Where we are currently sitting right now is we've trained over 330 female micro-entrepreneurs in Limpopo. You know, the top part of Limpopo where you start getting close to Zim, simply because that's where Venetia Mine is, and that's where essentially our labor sending areas are. So this covers the municipalities who are also listed as critical partners to us, and this is both Musina and Blowback local municipalities. In Namibia, we've trained over 230 businesses, and this journey continues. And as I've indicated, in Botswana, we are currently busy with the rollout, and this work will continue going forward. Now, what makes me passionate about this work? I guess it's the statement that came from one of the females. This is Osnomsa Makubela from the Blowback area, from Old Days. And I'll read certain sections of it. Actually, I'll read it. So Osnomsa said, the training was very difficult, especially the pricing and costing module. My biggest learning this week was that I have always been selling my bunny chow for 9 rand each. And this week I learned that it is actually costing me 12 rand to make one. I cannot wait to go back and correct this, as it was a huge eye-opener for me, and I will never forget this. I also plan to share my knowledge with other small businesses because they do the same. So if you think about it, Osnomsa, operates within All Days. She runs a business, but she's not making money, or she was not making money. So empowering people with knowledge, and knowledge that they can then utilize to drive for better decision-making will assist. What was interesting in the conversation was that clearly you can't say to Osnomsa, go back to the community or go back to your community and raise the prices of your bunny chow to 12 or to 15 rand simply because people will not buy from her. So we needed to make it practical, and I've just given you a basic example and say, still make your curry, but don't add all the spices. They don't make a huge difference. So play around with your inputs in order to make sure that you will still make money. And what I love about this is that she's clearly saying, I'm gonna go back and tell other females, and frankly, I guess that's the strength of females. We don't sort of hoard information. We tend to want to share with others and make sure that we develop together. So I've given you an example, or I've told you about the work that we've done around Awome, which is clearly something that's very close to our hearts. I wanted to end off by saying that, so clearly, this is not the only area of focus that we have. Insofar as procurement and enterprise development and supplier development is concerned, there's other work that we do which touches broader businesses. And I'm assuming this is the space where top women would play as well. So at Venetia, we are currently investing $2 billion US, sinking 2 shafts and developing an underground mine. So you can check the exchange rate to see where the 2 billion is currently sitting. And with that, we've needed to empower other businesses across. And clearly, our focus is that we need to make sure that women will benefit from this. I'll only mention a couple of examples. One is a 600 million rand worth business that we recently signed. And this is around our Venetia mine employee busing empowerment transaction, where clearly the major company knows that they've got long-term work, and we needed to get them to empower themselves and consider women as part of their empowerment. The second one that I'll mention is, I'm not sitting on the slide where I should be sitting, that's fine. The second one is the last picture that you see, which is Ngateko Stole, who used to be an employee of Barloworld Equipment. So Barloworld Equipment deals with what we call the yellow equipment, big trucks, big loaders, big drills, big everything. So she used to work for them and then decided that she wanted to join her husband on the business side of things. And she currently has her own business that supplies tires, batteries, rims, and she actually supplies to us as Venetia Mine within the LDV space. And this for us was critical simply because for us to talk about people externally, we need to demonstrate that we actually trust that they've got the skills. What's good is that, so clearly she's got the 5-year contract. We didn't do this in isolation. Actually, we didn't do the bulk of the training. We are good miners. We are not good at tires, batteries, and rims. So she actually underwent training through Bridgestone and Global Wheel. She underwent training through their incubation program. So where did we come in as DBS for the 2 contracts? We utilized our Zimele vehicle, which assists with enterprise development. It assists with funding, and it also assists with business development skills. So what I like about Osunkateko is that she clearly is helping us as a business. So she offers discounts to our employees. So she's happy and our employees are happy, and she clearly, so we are not undercutting her pricing, we pay her good money. That's why she's able to offer this to our employees, but it's good for us. The last example is the people that are graduating, and these are individuals that are very close to my heart, and this is within the diamond cutting and polishing space, where the bulk of the businesses that currently operate within the space are unfortunately not females. And we needed to start a program that we called the HDSA, Enterprise Development Program. It was our first pilot. And we put our all into that program. So cutting and polishing is not easy. So people think you take a couple of diamonds and you cut them and polish them. It's not easy. You need to know how to buy diamonds. You don't want to buy too expensive. Secondly, you need to have access to markets. If you don't have access to markets, people will undercut you insofar as the pricing of your diamonds is concerned. Thirdly, you need to have good skills, because if you don't cut and polish properly, the diamonds won't sparkle, and frankly, nobody will want to buy your diamonds, and. So we started this program with 5 businesses, and we supply them with diamonds as DBS, simply because we want them to succeed. We've taken them to Hong Kong, we've taken them to the US to assist them with access to markets, simply because we want them to have great partners that they sell their diamonds to. And 60% of them are females, so clearly in everything that we touch, we need to focus on gender diversity. And it's actually great seeing them succeeding. So Monira, Joe, Misibudi, Ostoko, and Khomutso, it's great talking to them. I won't lie and say they don't have challenges. It's not an easy industry, and I guess business is not easy. But it's great seeing them operating as true businesses. So that is our story as DBS, and I'll end off by saying that we believe in standing with women and girls. It's a critical element of our business. Over 90% of the people that wear our product are women, so we need to connect with women, and we need to empower women. And we all know that when you empower a woman, you empower the nation. So it's not a waste for us. Thank you.